He remembered your coffee order, not just once, every morning for 7 years, the right cup at the right time before you asked. He showed up at the hospital when you didn't even call him. He just knew. He built an allotment in the garden because he noticed you'd mentioned once that you liked fresh tomatoes. He also screamed at you until you flinched at the sound of his key in the door. Both of those things are true, and that, the coexistence of those two truths, is exactly why leaving is so hard. This video is about the green flags, the real ones, the ones that make you question everything you know. There is a particular cruelty in the advice, just focus on the red flags, as if the green flags weren't real, as if the good wasn't genuine, as if the person who showed up at the hospital, who cooked every meal, who encouraged your career for 7 years, was a fiction you invented. They weren't. The green flags in a narcissistic relationship are often completely real. That's the trap. Not that you imagined the goodness, but that the goodness existed alongside the harm, and your heart, which is built to attach to goodness, couldn't simply ignore it. Today we're going to talk about 5 specific green flags that appear in narcissistic relationships, why they're real, what function they serve in the dynamic, and what they can't fix. Most narcissists are not cruel all the time. They are sometimes genuinely, authentically kind. They cook the meals, they drive, they build things, they show up, they remember. This is not performance. In those moments, the kindness is real, the care is real. What makes narcissistic relationships so difficult to understand and to leave is that the person you are leaving is not a monster in every moment. They are a person who is sometimes genuinely wonderful and sometimes genuinely destructive. The cruelty doesn't erase the kindness, and the kindness doesn't erase the cruelty. Both exist, and loving the kind version while being harmed by the cruel version is not confusion. It is the accurate response to a complicated human being. The trap, the kindness, becomes evidence that the cruelty is the exception, that the real person is the kind one, that if you could just get back to the kind version, everything would be fine. But in a narcissistic dynamic, the cruelty is not the exception. It is part of the pattern, and the kindness, however real, cannot undo the pattern. When it mattered most, they were there. The emergency hospital visit, the time your family needed someone to push for the right diagnosis, and they pushed. The way they have a sense of urgency about real crises, competent, decisive, reliable. This is one of the most powerful green flags, because crisis reveals character, and in crisis, their character is often genuinely good. The trap, crisis competence, becomes the reference point for who they are. But when I was in the hospital, he was there instantly. When my mother was sick, he handled everything. These things are true, and they become the counter-evidence to everything else. Every time the cruelty surfaces, crisis competence gets pulled out as proof that this is not who they really are. But there is a difference between being reliable in crisis and being safe in ordinary life. A person can show up heroically in emergencies and still make your daily life a place where you flinch at sounds. Both are true. Both matter. Crisis competence does not cancel out chronic harm. He encouraged her career. He told her to stop caring what other people think. He believed in her creativity and said so. This is real. Many narcissistic partners are genuinely supportive of their partner's external success. They encourage ambition. They back the career. They are proud, publicly, of what their partner achieves. This creates a profound confusion, because the same person who screams at you in private is the person who, at the work event, tells everyone how talented you are. The trap, career support, feels like love. And it is, a version of it, a selective version that is consistent with who a narcissist needs their partner to be, because a successful partner reflects well on them. A partner who is thriving, who is respected, who is competent, that partner validates the narcissist's sense of having chosen well. The support is real. The motive behind it is more complicated, and the same partner who encourages your career will, in private, remind you of your failures, will use your insecurities against you, will tell you that no one else respects you as much as they do. The encouragement is not false, but it is not uncomplicated. His friends think he's wonderful, and he is, to them, The warmth they see is real, the generosity is real, the humor is real. The version of him that exists in public is not a mask on top of nothing. It is a genuine version of who he is, the version that appears when there is no power dynamic, no emotional investment, no vulnerability to exploit. The trap, the version everyone else sees, becomes the reference point. But he's so kind to everyone else. His friends love him. He doesn't do this with anyone but me. And the logical conclusion, the one that gets installed, is the problem must be me, the way I am with him, the history between us, the thing I did at the beginning that broke something. But here is what is actually happening. You are the person he is emotionally invested in, the person whose opinion of him matters, the person whose reactions he monitors, the relationship where the full pattern can activate. The public version is not more real than what you experience. It is a different version, the one that appears in contexts where the dynamics of the intimate relationship don't exist. You are not imagining what happens at home, and everyone else is not seeing the real person. They are both seeing real, but different versions of the same person. He enrolled in the course. He said he would consider therapy if it didn't work. He sent her articles about himself, looking for understanding. He cried once about who he'd become. These moments are real. The distress is real. The desire to be different in those moments may also be real. The trap, the attempt, becomes more powerful than the pattern. But he's trying. He knows it's a problem. He's enrolled in the course. Trying is not the same as changing. Insight is not the same as transformation. Distress about behavior is not the same as the sustained, consistent work required to change a deeply embedded pattern. Change in a person who has behaved harmfully for years looks like this: a long period of consistent new behavior with no return to the old pattern even under stress. Not an enrollment, not a promise, a sustained, observable change over time. Hope for someone's potential is not the same as evidence of it. Here is the central thing about green flags in a narcissistic relationship. They don't cancel the red ones. The coffee remembered every morning does not undo the screaming. The hospital visit does not undo the flinch at the key. The career encouragement does not undo the names. The public warmth does not undo the private cruelty. The enrollment does not undo the pattern. This is not a math problem where positive and negative balance each other out. It is a pattern, and the relevant question is not, are there good things? There almost always are. The relevant question is, does the pattern as a whole, the full cycle including the good and the harmful, produce a life you want to live? Loving someone's green flags is not a reason to stay. It is a reason why leaving is hard. Those are not the same thing. You are allowed to grieve the green flags, to miss them, to love them even while you leave. The coffee, the hospital, the garden, the encouragement, those were real, and they were not enough. Both things can be true at the same time, and holding both of them, honestly, without minimizing either of them, is one of the hardest and most important things a person in this situation can do. If you've been told that the good things you remember are proof that you're imagining the harm, you're not. If you've been told that missing the good things means you should go back, that's not true either. The good things were real, and they existed inside a pattern that was also real, and you are allowed to hold both of those truths simultaneously, without one canceling the other. Grieving the green flags is not weakness. It is what it looks like to love a complicated someone, and choosing yourself, despite those green flags, despite the grief, is not a failure to appreciate what was good. It is the recognition that good is not the same as safe, that love is not the same as enough. In the next video, we're going to talk about the moment when you realized, not when you first suspected, when you knew, and what made that moment possible and what it cost. Subscribe. I'll see you there.